to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation.
You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
I don't know how to stop, I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or shots, give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. You wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent. Cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me, put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy. I'll put you in a grave 6 feet like Kenny.
You call me a god. 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 You call me a god.
Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation.
You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
I don't know how to stop, I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or shots, give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. You wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent. Cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me, put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy. I'll put you in a grave 6 feet like Kenny.
You call me a god. 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 You call me a god.
Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation.
You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
I don't know how to stop, I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or or shots. Give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. You wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent. Cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me, put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy. I'll put you in a grave 6 feet like Kenny.
You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. They 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 call me a god.
Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
I don't know how to stop. I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or shots, give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. You wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent. Cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me, put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy. I'll put you in a grave 6 feet like Kenny.
They call me a god. 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 They call me a god.
Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
I don't know how to stop. I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or shots, give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. You wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent. Cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me, put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy. I'll put you in a grave 6 feet like Kenny.
They call me a god. 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 They call me a god.
about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my...
What up, Nine?
Trapaholics Mixtapes.
As the 9% and word would say, make a better you, a better us.
Give them what they ask for.
Who do you think you are? I'm the word. Boy, man, I'm the one who put in the work.
When I move, it's in a quick rumble. I will never ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble.
What up, though? It's the word. You see the title, we will talk about it. But before we do that, do me a favor, hit that subscribe. And if you're new, hit that subscribe. If you're new, hit that like button. It's free to you, but it means the world to me. My bad, man. I don't know why. That's cool. We rocking and rolling. But yeah. Now that being said, let me get into the chat real quick. Commander, the Minister of General Defense is in the building. What it do with the business is 9. What it do? Stop playing with me. Browns, what up, my brother? Appreciate you, my bro. Dee Buck Piles. I hope the family is good. I hope they great. My 33 brother, Mr. Gary Busted Down Brown, is in the building. What it do with the business is, man. Hey, man. Man, me and the wife was scrolling. She was scrolling through her TikTok, and you know, this conversation a lot of people have had, does body count matter? And, you know, I think, you know, in this world, right, let's be honest, you know, we adults who have adult conversation, ain't no reason to get emotional about it. If you do, that's all right. I really don't care. But anyway, in this world, we have double standards, right? It is. That's just what it is. It's right for women to do certain things, and it's right for men to do certain things. That's just what it is. So I think when people say that, I think they be talking about, you know, from the most, like, women don't feel men should care if women got a high body count. You know, they feel like men shouldn't care. And they try to justify it by playing the victim sometimes. Like a lot of the stuff I heard on TikTok, I'm looking like, man, I heard some dudes, like, you know, I can go lie. I don't have to ask a woman's body count. I can kind of tell, you know, because of the main factor why it's important to men. The body count, is it important? Hell yeah, it's fucking important. Goddamn right it's important. You know, it's very fucking important to men. And it's just this one thing. I'm going to name a couple things. But it's this one reason why, right? One reason why. And even that reason will stem into a lot of little sub reasons, right? But before we get into that, what up, though? What do y'all think? Is let me put a poll in the chat. Let me go put a poll in the chat. Is body count important to you? Is it? Is it or is it ain't? Oh, don't worry about it. That's the wrong button. Hold on 1 second, man. Yeah, I'm gonna put a poll in the chat, but if y'all want to answer that, feel free to. Where is oh, there we go. Okay, let's do that. You know, I want to get people's comments and ideas before. Oh, coming in. I bet I should have had this ready already. Here we go. See, that's it. So we got the poll up. Go back over count. Maybe. And Gary like, maybe. That's a no for me. I don't care about my man's body count. This is bad. See, and that's what I'm saying. It's different for women, you know, because what's important for women is different from what's important to men. That's just reality. Like me, like if I'm looking for a woman, it's a difference. Like the things that's important is different, you know, than if I was a woman looking for a man. You kind of almost expect men to, you know, especially when they're young, you know, and I mean, like I said, it's a double standard. You got the woman with the womb, and you got the man with the phallus. So it's like, phallus gonna be a phallus, bro. It's just gonna be a phallus. But the womb, that shit changed, bro. Even when you have a baby, the womb changed. You know, that shit changed. So it's a difference. And Y2K Kalani, what up, though? Amazon Wallace. So you know that's the difference. You know, a woman, and like I said, and that creates a double standard. It's a difference. But this is one of the most vital, and I don't think too many. I don't hear too many. I haven't really. I don't think I ever heard no one say. I heard people. I heard even. I don't know if they was really doctors. I didn't do my research on the person to verify that they were a doctor. But it was this one neurosurgeon when we was looking at it on TikTok, and he talked. And I heard this before, but every time a woman has sex with a man, and he, you know, do his thing inside of her, a piece of his DNA is left in her. Right? And yeah, I heard crazy stories. You know, like I said, a lot of stuff ain't been verified. It's just stories you hear. You're like, oh wow, you know, half the shit I don't believe. But he was saying like the DNA is not only in the womb, but it go into the brain stem. And I'm like, and it becomes part like the genetic material becomes part of any additional thing added to the vessel, meaning like when she get pregnant, that those little itty bitty particles of DNA have potential to attach to the fetus or become part of the fetus. So that was interesting. Is it real? Is it not? I don't know. I don't care. But this is the main reason for me. Like I said, I don't hear too many people talk about it. It's the experience factor, you know. And I tell you this, I probably fucked it up for a lot of dudes who mess with women after me. I know I did for a fact because a lot of women after me, they come back 2-3 years later talking about, oh, well, they couldn't do this, they couldn't do that, couldn't get off like this, I couldn't get off like that. You know, 2-3 years later, and they done fucked around with a couple dudes. But that is the experience that I gave them, they never had it again. That should be like, you know, a crackhead chasing a high. You know, you done fucked it up for everybody else. So the experience itself, men want to create the experiences with a woman. That's why you hear a lot of men say, oh, they want a virgin. It's not that, I mean, part of the fact is that all of the experiences the woman had, the man want to create those. You know, he want to be her first. You know, he want to be her best. That's why, man, am I the best you ever had? But women don't really ask that shit. I don't even, well, not far sex. I have women ask me. Yeah, I ain't live. Women do ask that. But men, you know, it's different when men say it's more ego driven, I think. When men say, because we want to be that. You know, if it's our woman, we want to make sure and shit, let's be real. Everybody built different, right? Not only is everybody built different, everybody, you know, go about it different. Some people just not experienced. So at least if a woman get with a man that's not experienced, if she ain't had experiences, they can learn together. This is the thing. A man is willing to teach a woman. You know, you don't really hear too many women. I used to tell women, like, you gotta teach man how to please. I used to tell women that because, like I said, after they fucked with me, they done fucked it. I done fucked it up, and I didn't realize that. So I'd be like, man, you gotta teach them how to pleasure you. I tell women that now. You gotta be vocal. You gotta but if she didn't have that experience, those great experiences before, she had nothing to gauge it, so they can learn together. You know, man, a lot of men, we use the term ego. We ego driven, right? Especially when it comes to that, you know. And you like when I hear women say they fake orgasms, I'm like, how do you not know this girl just faked the orgasm? How do you not know that? Like some women, they be with men for years and never, you know, dude can't give them orgasm, but they didn't have them before because they probably been with a more experienced man. But now they married and this dude can't satisfy her. And shit happens when people don't get what they want out of something, shit happens. You know, that's why people cheat. They're not being satisfied. But that's what a high body count do. It gains experience. Women get tons of experience. You know what I'm saying? And that's the significance, the difference. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to men and women. Like a man is go get off. Look, if a woman experienced or not, a man is gonna get off. If a man can't pleasure a woman, she's not gonna get off. She's not gonna get off. And it don't even just gotta be she got a high body count. It be these damn toys too. Like them damn toys be fucking shit up for dudes. Them toys fuck shit up, the woman can't get off unless there's a toy involved. You know, so that's why these things are important. That's why some men don't like toys. That's why some men don't like it. Like, no, they don't want the toy to get you off. They want to get you off. Robert, what up, my guy? Once a woman is with 4 or 5 men, chance of having successful long-term relationships after that. And I'm telling you that, and that's 5. I mean, even think about that, bro. It's the experience, bro. It's the experience. It's the experience. If a woman can, if she, and that's why I said, like I said, I'm not denying the fact it's a double standard, yeah. But that's why I said some things are important to men, some things are important to women. You know, like women be like, oh, you can't body count shame. Like, but you shame men because they shorter than you or your height because they not athletic. They ain't making a lot of money. You know, everybody has standards, and body count is a male standard. Some men, the men who don't care about it, like me personally, it wouldn't bother me because I know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't care what nobody did before me. I know what I'm doing, but I'm in a good position. It don't bother me because my wife ain't have a high body count. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good. You know, but if I was dating when I was young, like if I'm trying to get serious with a woman, yeah, it would matter. I ain't gonna lie, especially like when you living in a city too, because it's you gotta think like I said, man, prideful man. I done been with chicks, right? And we go out to a club, and I'm dead serious, man. This shit happened, and it's sitting there like, hey, y'all tell me what would y'all do, right? I'm chilling at this club. This chick I met. We've been hanging out for like a month or two. I crashed a couple times, you know what I'm saying? And we chilling, we vibing, we good, we dating and everything. I'm at this club downtown Detroit, and I'm with like four of my boys. They got the girl, and this other dude we knew, right? It's this guy we knew. Mella, what up though? What up, Mella?
Everything's fine, just fine. I heard you just say that men are prideful, and that's the basis for body count being significant.
Well, it's not prideful. I mean, I ain't gonna say
But
that's
that's what
what
you
makes
just
it
said.
significant.
It's based
No, I said
on
that plays a huge part. But I was saying what the most significant part is the experience,
right.
and that
I'm very fortunate. My first husband was kind enough to be, let's just say, um, generous in terms of you know how our sexual relations. Like if it were not for him, I would not have known what ecstasy is, like what it is to have experienced what a woman ought to experience. I'll put it that way without being explicit. Everybody has imaginations, you figure it out. So, with that being said, I think it's damn near criminal that a man who, with all his body count, like let's say it's traditional for a man to just, be poking this thing everywhere he can go. And in the course of that, some woman has introduced, as the movie Sinners would say, how to push that button. And he denies that selectively, right? It's like, I'm gonna get mine. Why should I worry about her getting hers? That's just foul, especially me knowing what I know as to what it is to have pleasure. Okay, I know what it is to have pleasure, and the fact that men deny women that is that's like, I can't say it should be against the law, but in my mind it should be against the law. That's just foul. Like I sometimes I dwell on that even now. What would my life had been if I was never allowed to experience true pleasure? And there are women out here that don't know what that is. It's because a man, based on his pride, doesn't want to do that. It's like, I'm gonna take what I got to get and get the fuck on. And what you left, and this wet ass that you left with, this wet, this wetness that I left inside of you, otherwise known as sperm, that's your problem. And they gone. It's just leaving damaged women all over the place, man. And then brothers wonder why women are tripping, you know, because they know they're missing out on what they deserve. And that's my statement. That's not all I came up here to say, but when I heard you mention that men are prideful, right? And that's just, I was like, okay, this is where I'm getting ready to say something because that's the case. It's like, it's like, and I'm not judging you
Oh no,
specifically.
I ain't worried about that. Oh no,
What I'm saying
I'm all
is, it's not,
different.
yeah, it's not a foreign concept that men go for what they know, and they leave damaged women in the process. And now, when women are tripping, you know, they wonder why. It's like it's like, what did you expect? Not you, but what did womanizers? What do womanizers expect when they are leaving damaged women in their aftermath of debauchery? What do they expect? It's really sad
And,
when you think about it.
and see, I like even on that too. I blame women. I mean, I blame women like even in that aspect because it's like you let that dude in, you ain't better enough. You ain't better enough. That's just like if a dude get hustled by a woman, you ain't better enough.
It's no
You-
different than a politician convincing you that he's going to enact policies on your behalf, and then he turns around and do something different when he's voted in. It's like there are men that deceive women into believing that he only cares for her. She's the only one. You can't nobody you know make me feel like there's this persuasiveness that occurs as to why a woman develops stupid trust for a guy. And it's not as I've said before, it's not a foreign concept that women are whimsical. They lead with their feelings. Women lead with their feelings, and if you make her feel good, as much as a lie as it is, if it makes her feel good, she's gonna believe it. And next thing you know, she's doing stuff that goes against her best interest on the strength of that lie. That's why these women are having unplanned children. These women, th- th- do, I don't know if anybody's familiar with this, but it's difficult to give birth. Okay. And to go through that, as much birth control as there is out here, in order for a woman to make a conscious decision to give birth, we're talking about the labor, the splitting your body in half to give birth. That means you believed in that guy that got you pregnant. You believed in that. Okay. Especially in this era of, like, it's not for food stamp benefits. Like, there's no benefit in having a child other than you believed in the man that impregnated you. That's why women are doing this, because the persuasive tactics of their lie convinced them that he was sincere, and he's not. He's a womanizer. He wants to find out what kind of wall she got going on the inside, and that was it. And when the discovery of the deception comes to fruition, she's devastated with a child. So it's not a mistake that she's going to want vengeance. That's why she goes full hard and, the family court system. And to be honest, when you really think about it, that's why the family court system exists. Because those who constructed this legislation, they're familiar with a man's nature. And they're like, yeah, we need to, you know, try to balance these scales right here, because these men are just running these women over, and the children are left by the wayside. that they just nonchalantly making. So as much as I disagree with the family court system, it favors women, to be honest with you. Trust, however, they did not construct that legislation blindly. They didn't just wake up one day and say, "Hey, I want to construct the family court system on, you know, in women's favor." No, there's evidence and studies to demonstrate that more often than not, the propensity of evidence shows that more often than not, men are manipulating women into having
And,
unplanned pregnancies. And
and
that's why the
you
family
can,
court system is so strong on the woman's side.
but even that, right? I can put that and say they wrote it because women are gullible.
It's not about this. See, that's the thing, right?
It's 20. Look, if it was like in the 70s, I can roll with it. But it's 2025. We just
This
see cycles and generations of men knocking women up and walking away. Women have no. You have to have standards. Okay, look, I'm not just about to let you in me and raw and come. It's some form of
But where are
accountability.
their fathers to tell them that?
I mean, that can come from anybody, father, mother, uncle. They can. I
No,
learned a lot
no,
of stuff
no,
just by
no,
viewing. I mean,
no.
we learn stuff from observation. Like
See
I said,
that,
it's 2025. Like I
and
learned so much stuff that people didn't tell me by observing other people going through stuff. At some point, I mean, we gotta people gotta take
if that
accountability.
was the case, though, there would be no need for crossing guards. There would be no need for traffic lights. Like, you know, there,
Oh,
you if you get what I'm saying, like their guidance is necessary. So just observation, you know, we have to take into account that not everybody is um keen enough to observe. See, there's all types of people in this world that makes it go around, and a lot of them are not keen enough to observe. So I just wanted to put that in there. I apologize for interrupting. Please.
oh no, you cool. You cool. No, that's good. But no, I understand like we all need guidance, and that's where uncles, that's what, even the mother. You know, the mother needs to have some guidance and that aspect too. It ain't just a telling you not to
Not if she's too
wedlock.
not if she's too emotionally messed up to know that she got stuck with a baby that she didn't intend to. Some women are just, they become I've seen it. I've seen it. They just become something different. It's like I really
And then
believe that he
and
was
women
with
get caught in
me, he was gonna be here, and it was all a lie, and now I got this baby, and legally I can't walk away from it without being a fucked up person, so I guess I'm stuck. And some men think that's funny to leave a woman, quote unquote, stuck with a baby. Some men think it's funny. Yeah.
and then and I mean so even that aspect it's like it's so many different. What about the women who try to stick a baby on a man? Who
Yeah.
intentionally try
Yeah.
to get a man caught up by, it
We
ain't even him manipulating his women.
we
Like
call
women,
those we call those cash register queens. Like, I'm gonna have this baby and get paid. Because this guy's a millionaire, and if I have his baby, he can't deny me in the family court system, and so this is my cash register baby. So yeah, there are people that do that. Absolutely, all day on a regular
like,
basis. As a matter of fact,
it's,
I think that's a trend.
it is. I mean, I had two women try to pin babies on me that wasn't even mine. Two women tried to do that. I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. Like, I
Did
treated
you
you
have to
good. I
pay for
looked
the
out for you.
test?
One of them, nah, one of them, she waited like 5 years afterwards. And then when I started doing the math, I'm like, hell no, I went to court. We went to court though, but when
Did you have to pay anything out of your pocket to prove
she
that
had
this
to
is not
pay,
your child?
she had to pay the court costs because I brought The night I only touched the girl one time. And the night we did it, the girl who was my friend, who brought her was my friend, and she had the credit card receipt of the night that we went to the hotel. So once, and then we had like 3 witnesses come in. So once they seen that, they threw it out. But this girl was coming up to my job, and come to find out, it was my homeboy baby, and they knew it was his baby. Like the whole time, she knew it was his. They got into a
Yeah,
fight.
there's a lot of Maury Povich situations out there. Yeah, I'm
So I
surprised he
mean,
didn't take you to Maury Povich.
nah, I'm sure I wouldn't went on there anyway. Like I'm good, bro. I ain't going on no shit like that. Exposing myself. I was in the street. I can't be on no TV and shit. I wasn't even taking pictures at that time. I'm like, it's like a span of 6 years. You ain't got no updated pictures from.
Yeah, some of those shows crack me up. It's like, wow, really?
I was incognito. But that's what I'm saying too. Lord, I just feel like when a child is young, I got a daughter, so I'm teaching her like you got to be responsible for your womb. You know, people go say all this yin yang yang, do everything to get in, but
That's a father's job. That's a father's job. Just like how men designate something as a mother's job, that's a father's job. And the fathers are abandoning their children. And so we have these, you know, in the wilderness mindset young ladies out here.
even that, like I'm just saying from my own personal experience, like my mother and father had me when they was young, 16, so they split up. My mother and father married right now, so they ended up getting back together. But me growing up, I didn't really see a lot of that. Like fathers walking out, I'd seen people going to jail, yeah, and then they come back and they with their family. You know what I'm saying? I seen good male role models, but I understand men do walk out on their family. But even then, I look at it like you can't tell what type of dude this is. Like women having kids by dudes who already got 4 kids by 4 different women.
No, they
How would you
can't.
even deal with them?
No, they
How would you even
can't.
deal with somebody like that?
No, they can't, because women are whimsical. Okay. And that's a man can't understand how a woman thinks, just like a woman can't understand how a man thinks. We think differently. We truly do.
I agree with
And
that.
and
Yeah.
if it's not, had it not been for the intervention of my father, had it not been for the intervention of as I mentioned earlier, my first husband, you know, of course, my father didn't sit up there and say, well, you know, a woman is entitled to an orgasm. No, my father ain't saying no shit like that, you know, but he did tell me as I'm growing up, I know you're not thinking about losing your virginity. You know, he exercised through authority that he would be disappointed if I, let's say, sold myself short. And when I say sold, I'm talking about giving myself before marriage. Like he made it clear that as my daughter, you ain't got no business having sex. He didn't use the word sex, but you know, as an adult now, I can, you know, use these terms to paraphrase. But what he specifically would always say, if I ever gave some indication that I was interested in a boy during high school, you know, I know you're not thinking about losing your virginity. That was his flat rate sentence, you know, and that was a sentence that stuck in my mind, you know, until I got married. You know, I was just programmed to believe that's what you're supposed to do. And that's due to my father's influence. You got a lot of you got a lot of girls, young ladies and women haven't that don't have that experience. I've heard really terrible stories of women that have put themselves through stuff, and to look at them, you would have never guessed what they have put themselves through, thinking that they were finding love. You know, like got some guy. who is only interested in using their body convince them otherwise. And you know, it's really messed up when a girl doesn't have a father. So to say that you should know, you should already know, to me, that's saying that you believe that a woman should think as men do, and we don't. Women don't think
Women
as
should
men
tell-
do.
I think women should tell the woman not to have sex until they married. I think the mom should
Say
tell
what?
them until they married.
You think they're mothers?
Should be telling their daughters, just like I'm gonna tell my
No, no,
daughter.
no, 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 no. Not if it's an abandoned mother. That's the cycle. That's the distinction. If it's an abandoned mother, she's too discombobulated to even concentrate on that shit. Unless she has a group, a support group that, brings her back to center. But when a woman is abandoned by a man that she was convinced to build a family with and he was just playing with her, she's her mind is not straight. For real.
But that's the minority. I'm talking about the majority. I mean, you gonna have outliers.
Everybody wants to give credit to these, black queens and black mamas and all that stuff. Like, we're all like, and I put myself in that category too. We're all women. All women think like women. We can talk like we don't think like women, but we actually are women. And we think differently. I don't know how many times I gotta say that.
No,
Like,
I agree. I know
wishing,
women.
hoping, and praying that women think like men think is that ain't the lick, man.
That ain't gonna be that ain't the solution. That ain't the solution. I think women need to think. I think most women are emotionally impulsive. They go more off of feelings than actual critical thinking.
That's
Because if a man, if a, why would you? I heard somebody say this before. Why would you buy the cow if you get the milk for free?
that's no different than a brother that sells drugs, knowing that more likely than not he's gonna get imprisoned for it. Men think differently. Men take chances, out of
And
ego.
that's impulsive too. That's emotionally
That's
because
what I'm saying. It's
I
not that.
come from that.
I
I
mean,
did that, and I'm
yeah. How
telling
much?
you that
Yeah,
was.
exactly.
You know why I went out and sold drugs? Because I wanted something I couldn't have, and that was the quickest way to do it. That was
And
the quickest
that's
way
what
to do
women are doing.
it.
They want
It-
something that they can't have. They can't see the forest for the trees. They don't think about the consequences of their actions. They're thinking about the moment. Just like a man who's selling drugs. They don't think about the consequences. They're thinking about the moment.
And
Does
see,
that make sense?
this the key part too, because even from where you sitting right now, right, at your age with the wisdom you have now, when that's why I said a woman needs to interact or have some of these conversations with little girls to prepare them to pray. Because you have the experience now. You made the
That's
mistakes
not my
and you
job.
adjusted it. You know what I'm saying?
It's not my
But
job
see,
to
it's
raise
not
other people's children.
well, not even raise other people children. Like if you got nieces, I mean, if you got nieces, little cousins, and stuff like that, it takes a village to raise a child. It's stuff that I know that my brother-in-law
Then that would be encouraging the single parent household now, wouldn't it? Sometimes a house has to burn down to rebuild it. You know, it's like a lot of people are not going to get the message that the only thing that's going to raise decent offspring is to have an intact family. That's the only thing that's going to happen.
I wouldn't
Without an
disagree.
intact family, you cannot, more likely than not, raise well balanced children. Like a child is always going to be like, and subconsciously, if not consciously, I want my mommy, I want my daddy. They want to see the two people that created them together in love, period. Like yeah, auntie can come through and say, hey, this is what you're supposed to do about your future. This is what you're supposed to do in this situation. Yeah, auntie can come through, but guess what? Niece is like, yeah, well, that's all that advice is cool, but I'm still ruminating on the disappointment that my family is not intact. These young people think about that shit hard. They, all this like shared parenting and all this other kind of stuff that people's talking about. Yeah, let's see how that works out for you. These
Yeah.
children are not, they do not, I'll put it this way. They are discriminated. They discriminate. Children discriminate. They are not trying to hear that, well, me and your mama don't get along. They're not trying to hear that shit. In their mind, it's like, both of you all are the reason why I exist. If you don't get along, and that's your excuse for not being united, then I was a mistake. So why the fuck should I try to be anything better than a mistake? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why intact families are, that's the key to producing well-balanced children who are only focused on success to please their parents. If they don't have both of their now they might, you might have some mentors that come along that redirect their focus, but the baseline subconscious thought is, if they don't get along, that means I'm a mistake. So why the fuck should I try to be anything other than a mistake? And it does take a mentor to come along and redirect their focus. I will say that. A mentor is a good thing.
I wanna answer Frankie
Hopefully.
question in the chat. I want to answer Frankie question in the chat real quick. He said, "You think? What did you say, Frank?" But the answer is no. Me personally, hell no. Hold the hole, bro. I'm good. I ain't trying. I ain't even taking on that duty, bro. I don't think nobody.
What happened? What's the question? What happened?
He said, "Can you turn a hoe into a housewife?" I don't believe you
I've
can turn
seen it
nobody
happen.
into nothing.
I've
I don't
seen
think
it
you.
happen, man. I've
Nah,
seen a man
don't nobody
who
turn nobody into nothing.
I've
People
seen I've
they turn
seen
themselves into it.
I've seen a man who was I guess a sex fiend, who met a beautiful woman who was a sex fiend. He denied his kids.
Wait, check. Am I still here? The note go up.
They decided, wait a minute, we got to make a living. They decided to start a business, and he had to teach her, like, look, this store that we have, we can't duck in the back room and get it on. We have to pay attention to business. We have to have a structured schedule that pays attention to our business. This business is our child. We have to dedicate ourselves to growing this business. And, he trained her from not obsessing about having sex. And she became a dutiful wife. And I remember when she was telling me the story and she said, now I'm a business hoe. I was like, what did you say? She said, I'm a business hoe, which means that the entire escapade was her believing and him treating her in a whorish way until he realized that she had the capacity to to accentuate and assist in him developing a business. And he was like, I might as well stay with her because, she's the devil I know. Ain't that some shit? He
Yeah,
married her because that's the devil he knows. And she accentuated the attributes it takes to assist him in growing a business, and they 50 years strong, and they have a very successful business. When I say very successful, we're talking about baby mansion in a gated community, hosting parties and well known and all this other kind of shit. The problem is everything prior to them getting together, was damaged. Like, he literally denied the children from his previous marriage. She refused to have children with him because, she grew up in a household where, you know, that led to her doing, being sexually uh promiscuous. And so they just came into agreement with each other, and her accepting his leadership, knowing that she didn't have better options. Like, who else was gonna give her a Rolls Royce? Okay. So, you know, because that was her requirement. She's like, if you want me, you gotta show up in a Rolls Royce. So he did a lot of swindling to get that for her. And when he went to jail, he called her and made this offer. It's like, if you give me a chance, I'm gonna make something legitimately beautiful out of a marriage with you. But this is what has to happen. And he explained it to. I can't believe they were sitting up there telling me this shit. I guess they were in a vulnerable moment. I don't know. But yeah, I've heard of a man turning a hoe into a housewife. I've heard of that. I've seen it. Uh yeah,
I mean, I'd say it like
absolutely.
this: we have solar eclipses, so anomalies do occur. You know what I'm saying? But the average, nah, man, I ain't doing none of that shit. I'm straight. I've been there
It's not
twice.
that. Yeah,
I've been there twice.
it's
You know, and
remarkable. I'm not saying it's the norm. It's
everything has
remarkable.
to I say it like this: everything has to come together. Everything has to come to situation, circumstance. Everything has to be perfect and in a line for that shit to occur. But I mean, over time, I mean, people change. People change over time. You know what I'm saying? But you will just say
Do
right
they
off
though?
the street
Do
and
they,
turn to a
or do
housewife.
they suppress? Do they change or do they suppress? I think people suppress. I don't think people ever
I
change.
mean,
I think they suppress.
I think people. I mean, I think people evolve. I definitely say I evolve. You know what I'm saying? Because uh, because change can go like Gary was up here. He said change can go good or bad. So I'd say I evolved from what I used to be, even from the way I looked at women. Like when I was sexually abused when
If,
I was 7 years old when I first had sex. I had my female cousin and her friend.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
know it was not.
that's damaging. A
I
lot of men
grew up
don't take that
thinking. I'm gonna
seriously,
be
but
honest with you.
that's
I didn't
molestation.
know. I didn't know how bad that fucked me up until I got in my mid 20s
And what
because
what
the
happened in
way
your mid 20s to realize it? What happened?
I actually like my when my like I had a death in the family, somebody real close to me, and it just like when they died, it's just like I just looked at life different. Like everything started making sense. I made sense.
You had a spiritual awakening,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
realized you were molested, and you wasn't given a favor, because a lot of men look at it, it's like, oh, she did me a favor. No, nigga, you was molested, man.
because I
That
didn't even
that
look at
damaged
women.
your soul, man.
I didn't look at women like now. I look at like sex as a energy, like a spiritual exchange. That's how I look at it. I don't look at it
Hmm.
as
Hmm.
relational. So it's like the intent, even when I do it, my intent is to exchange energy with my wife. That's my intent. So I didn't look at it, but before that, it was just like it's just some skin to beat. It's just like, and I was
Because a lot of guys, they grow up thinking that that's all a woman wants, when that's not the case. You just happen, not you, but
I didn't care what a
anyone
woman.
in your situation.
I
Say
didn't.
what?
Care. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't. It like look. I
It
said
wasn't
like this.
violent. It's not like she took it, but it was seductive. It probably even enjoyable, but it was beyond inappropriate. And that's the confusing part of it, because it plants a seed of this is all women want, when that's not the case. It
No,
plants a seed of potential debauchery. If
See,
if
I
you
didn't
get my
even.
drift.
But see, I'm telling you, the way I thought was even more demented than that because I didn't even care what a woman. Like you were like you blessed to even be dealing with me. That's how I looked at it.
You what?
You blessed to even dealing with me.
You
Like you
blood?
blessed. You blessed. I bless women. I used to bless women.
Yeah, that's that molestation shit. Yeah, that yeah, because I know a
And then
sex
I
addict.
grew up around pimps too, so it was like my uncle told me a long time ago, don't nobody knock on your door and ask to fill the hole in the backyard. They don't pay you to fill the hole. People call and pay to fill holes. So
I know,
you
yeah, I know a sex
know,
addict, or rather a self-proclaimed sex addict, and I because when you go to the VA and you sit in the waiting room and people just talk about their business for some strange reason, and a lot of them are weird, and
shouldn't
you
be in
know.
they well, you hear some crazy shit.
Yeah, it's been real crazy. So this one guy who's a self-proclaimed sex addict, eventually he started going into details about his history as a young person. Cause he was talking all this stuff about women he's been with and what he's done with them. But eventually he started getting to the roots of it. And as it turns out, some woman, you know, offered her favors to him, and he grew up thinking that his dick is the prize. you know like a woman is blessed to be he names his penis and all that kind of crazy shit, and and come to find out after some time, you know he realized that he never got a chance to talk about his first encounter. Like all he would when he was talking about his encounters, it was like, either something recent or as far back as before the first encounter. The first encounter was about 7, I think, maybe 9. But anyway, there was this whorish woman that just thought he was a cute little boy, and you know, she whipped it out, you know. I know you looking at these. I don't want to get explicit, but my point is that she introduced him to something sexually explicit that was too inappropriate, beyond inappropriate for someone that age to experience. And he never looked at it as molestation. He looked at it as a delight, because in this country, men are encouraged to believe that their sexual conquest is what makes them a man. So
Mhm.
there's some
Oh, yeah.
confusion with that. You know what I'm saying? It's like when a boy is touched by some horny woman who's probably confused herself, most likely, you know, because it's a perpetual thing, right? So you got some horny woman that
Yeah.
wants to take advantage of a young boy, but she doesn't look at it that way because she's confused. But meanwhile, she's doing it, and the boy is experiencing some stimulation from it and doesn't realize that he's experiencing something inappropriate that's going to change his perception about how to relate to women in the future. It's planting a seed,
It's,
you know, and
it's
it
see
takes
that's
it takes a long time to. I don't think that guy still has gotten over that sense of like naming, like I don't even know what to call it because I'm not a psychologist, but I do. After all his talking, I recognize that he separates, like that's his. How can I put that? That's his obsession. I guess that's what I'm looking for. That's his obsession. His obsession is centered around what he experienced as a violation as a child that was pleasurable, in his mind, because society tells boys that grow into men that your mission is to exercise sexual conquest. And
what
so
cool.
And in his mind, that's his mission. That's his mission.
Go for it to be fruitful. Commander, I messed around with 1, 2, 3. I messed around with 4 women over the age of 30 before I was 18. I messed with a total of, I messed with this 22-year-old when I was 14. I messed with a 27-year-old when I was 16, I think. But yeah, I messed with older women my whole life. I dated 2 young women in my whole life. I only
But nothing's gonna
dated
do
4 women
other.
in total.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's tripped out when man, that's tripped out. There's this other guy on YouTube who said that
No, they
some
don't.
women did something with him when he was 17, and in his mind, he didn't see anything wrong with it. I was like, that's a
No, that's
37-year-old woman.
And I was look, this how I got caught because I was messing with this chick when I was 16. I was driving her Jag, right?
She's
worked
older,
with my
right?
mama. She worked. My mama worked midnight.
And
Like,
there
my
it
mom
is.
was a midnight supervisor. She was a shift lead on day shift. So like my mom would get off of work, right? She'd go on her lunch break because the hospital was down the street from my school. Pick me up. I drive her back to work, and I have her car until 7:00 that night, right before my mama, and I pick her up right before my mama leave, give her car back. And my mama caught me one day driving her car, and that's how she knew because she had just got the car. She bragging about it and everything. Now I'm driving. My mama was like, "What the hell?" and everything. Then I guess 1 or 2, because I used to always go up to the hospital. That's how I met her, just going up to the hospital. But I've been like 6 foot since I was like 15, so I always looked at grown, but. It always, I ain't gonna say I had game, but when I was 17, I was dating a 36-year-old and she gave me a Kama Sutra book.
You're a child. See,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
17th
That's a
birthday,
child.
she gave me a Kama Sutra book. But that was if she never exposed me to that, I would have never been healed from what I went through as a child. I would have never, that was part of my awakening when it comes to interacting with women. Is really going into that book because most people, when they hear Kama Sutra, they think it's just, a position, a book of positions, but it's not. It's actually a sutra of how to interact with women when you single and when you unmarried. I mean, when you married and when you single. So when I start getting into the other aspects of the book, that's when it made me realize like this is not supposed to be done for recreational purposes. It's just not. That's like using a medication when you ain't sick. Taking antibiotics and you ain't sick. That's how sex is having like recreational. Yeah,
like how if a mother gives a child some gin to put them to sleep, next thing you know, they grow up to be an alcoholic.
Yeah, that's. I mean, so sex was not never meant to be recreational. It's literally, it has function or has a purpose.
And gin was never meant to be toothache medication.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So I mean, this world is built with experiences. Some of them pleasurable, some of them fucked up. But it's all about the lessons you can extract out of them, and how can you not only extract the information or the lessons for you, but how can you articulate it to other people so they won't make some of the same mistakes. So that's where I say like it's 2025. It's time for some accountability. You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool. I mean, I know people manipulate. They go back and forth. Women manipulate men. Men manipulate women. That shit been happening since the dawn of time.
Yeah, but when it comes to children, I think if it was my world, people would have to have a license to have children.
Yeah,
I'm tired of dumbass people raising kids, man. I'm tired of that.
Everybody don't need to have kids, man. And it'd be fucked up when you see somebody who would be a good parent and can't have kids, and then you see somebody who just having kids and shit and don't even want them. Like that should be so fucked up. I was listening to this dude yesterday. He was like, man, if you was born in the 90s, the 80s. Maybe he was like, if you was born in the 90s or 80s, man, our parents ain't give a fuck about us. We'd go outside at 9 o'clock, won't come back in until 9 o'clock. That's 12 hours. Well, this shit was funny as hell. But what he was saying is, like, in this, like, the parents today, we have to be more protective and observant of our kids because it's not like back in the day, especially like with the internet. And like even the perversion is normalized now. I remember like you had to watch HBO or something to see some breasts. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the channels that'll be fuzzed out. Man, they be showing shit. Like they'll show a show, people start kissing and walking to the room, and then you'll show the next day when they're coming out the room or something. That was the sex scene. Now it's like
now it's explicit.
TV. Yeah, it's man kissing man, women kissing women. Like, come
They
on,
showing
man.
curves and
Yeah, man.
and crevices.
Right. They showing everything. Like, come on now, man. So I mean, our society is more perverted now, in my opinion. And like I heard this one, like they was talking about body count. Me and my wife was watching a couple videos on TikTok, and this lady was saying men are just jealous because they can't control the way women sexually express themselves. And I'm like, that's fine, because look, this is the thing, right? Men, when they just want to screw you, they don't care about your body count. But if you want to ring, then it matters. That should matter when you want to ring. Because it's different things that's important to men that's not important to women, and it's different things that's important to women that's not important to men. And that is one of them, because one, due to the experience, and you kind of hinted on that when you were saying your first husband, you know, showed you what ecstasy was. Now, any man coming after that and ain't doing that, then they hitting the mark. So it's a level of satisfaction you're not getting. Now you get in a long-term relationship with this dude and you ain't being satisfied that way, that might cause problems.
Yeah, that was fortunate on my part. Like he wasn't.
I'm telling you for a fact, I haven't had women who I broke up with 3-4 years later. They like, I never had it like this again. Can we just one more time? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like this shit weird. Nah, bro, I'm good. Like, and I didn't think of it then. And now that I'm like, oh, I understand why. Because even with my wife, she was like, so,
I don't know if you should be saying all this stuff now.
Oh no, my wife encouraged me. Like my wife is long as I speak like from an educational aspect, my wife don't care what I talk about. She encourages me to talk about the Kama Sutra, you know. So like she didn't know, like women don't. If you haven't experienced it, you don't know. She thought an ejaculation was an orgasm, and I'm like, nah, women ejaculate, but then you orgasm. It's actually 3 different ways. You know, a woman can experience sexual pleasure, not just ejaculation or orgasm, but there's a 3rd way.
What's sad is that there are men that don't know that.
They don't know that.
Not only don't women, there are some women that don't know. There are men that think that pounding the pee, as they say, is enough. Like, you know, they think because she's going ooh and ah and or whatever fake ass narrative she's doing, you know, like what she's responding to is the pressure of that phallus entering her orifice. But, you know, and that's why she's motivated to encourage that activity with these, you know, these ooh and ah sounds. But men who are slow, they don't get that. They don't get that that's not it. They don't get that that's not it.
Man, I wish
but they believe it. They believe that's it.
I wish my homegirl was up here so she can.
They had a song even saying, "I'm not gonna stop till you make the ooh and ah sound." Like, nigga, what?
Like it was, but my one homegirl, she part of the 9. She had this channel called Lingerie and Cocktails, and she'd talk about explicit things. So she wanted me to come on there and talk about sex magic one day. So we on there talking, and we breaking down like the energy transfer aspect. Like, you know, it wasn't really about sex, but about what possibilities. You talk about manifestation through sex and stuff. Anyway, so it was this one dude who came up there, and he was talking all this junk, like, you know, he because it was mainly women. He was like, oh, I'm big and all that. And his girl came on there, and she was listening to what I was saying about how like women are supposed to be stimulated. Like, so in the Kama Sutra, it tells you women are like water, men are like fire. man can instantly get hot, but it takes water time to boil up. So we talking about like different nerves, and I'm telling them like where the nerves, like the nerves from the clitoris, where it runs run through like different aspects of the body. You can so we talking about that, and he was like, "Oh, you just get in there and pound." She was like, "Would you explain to him?" Like, so he was sitting there bragging this whole time, and she was like, "No, I don't like the pounding." Like I was like, "Damn, bro." His face went from that, that macho man to like. She was like, "You need to listen to him. He explaining this stuff, and it can make it better." And I'm like, "Oh shit."
Ain't that sad?
I
Ain't
be
that
telling
sad? He
brothers,
didn't know the entire time. He had no idea.
and then every woman is different. Some women might like stuff fast. Some
And
women
what's
might.
even sadder is that she was too afraid to tell him that
No, she said she
this
been
ain't it.
telling him. She said she been telling him. Like it was on live. Like she was like, "I told you that before."
Oh, he thought she was playing.
She was like,
Oh,
she's
okay.
like, "You do that? I just be wishing you hurry up because that shit is so uncomfortable." Like I was like, "Oh shit."
And annoying.
Oh
It's
man.
annoying. If a woman had it her way, never mind. Go ahead. You got it.
No,
Go ahead.
I just learned just from dealing with women. Every woman is different. They might have similarities, but every woman is different. What might turn one woman off might turn another woman on. That's just how it is. So you have to play to that individual's liking. If you really, but a man has to seek to pleasure a woman. If a man ain't seeking to pleasure a woman, then 9 times out of 10 she ain't gonna get no pleasure out of it. She just gonna put a lot of work in and get nothing from it. That's just what it is.
But believe it or not, that's not why women cheat.
Tay, there go my sis right there. You remember that Tay? I don't want to say baby girl name, but that's my 9 right there. That's my 9. This is my sis, man. This right here, this is my partner.
You got a clip from that video that they will allow you to
on
play?
her channel. Oh no, it's probably on her channel. I got plastic. Let me play this real quick. Shout out to Plastic African. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Hold on, man.
Peace, everybody.
This one. Let's make this one. Money.
It'll take me. Riders in the building. What up, 9? Dolly in the building. What up, Dolly? Oh my
You
bad.
got
I
to
ain't even
turn your
get a chance to
microphone
see the
up
chat.
because that sounded louder than your microphone.
It did. I'm
Yeah.
actually talking in the real
You
mic
got your
today.
volume up?
Saint, what up, Saint? Yeah, I think you know what? Hold on, let me check. I probably don't because I don't have my not in my headset. I'm in my actual mic, so the setting is probably low.
Yeah, because
Oh, it's on, you know.
you played that. I was like, wow, that's loud as hell. How come his mic?
Yeah, and then I'll be walking away. I'm so used to having this headset on, I'll be walking away.
There you go.
But we used to I don't even remember. Hey, did you change the name of that channel? Is it still Lingerie and Cocktails? I will have to next. I'll go look for it and really review. I'm probably gonna get in trouble because the girl. I'm cool with the girl.
That sound tripped out though. I would love to hear it.
Like that. I ain't trying to put her on blast. So shit,
Yeah,
she
that's cool.
talk about it. She don't care. She
The
probably
description is enough, but that would be tripped out to hear it.
All we do is we getting blue balls. I don't know, bro. I ain't never had them, bro. I'm straight. I ain't never had that problem, man. I've never, I just never had an issue in that, I I've always been, yeah, I'm good. But see, over time, I believe in like you mature, develop in different aspects of life, and being sexually mature is one that I think people overlook often. I think there's a lot of sexually immature people. That's why people make mistakes that they make. I made a lot of mistakes. I dealt with a lot of women that I probably shouldn't have dealt with, like that. Like y'all women be having men stalkers. Man, it was a woman willing to get ate by a Rottweiler. Like I had women trip on me, bro. If you been a woman a certain type of way, like I had a woman bring her daughter out at 3 o'clock in the morning, talk about my baby miss you, come home. Like what the fuck are you talking about, man? Get your kid out of here. That ain't my kid.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Like, but that's what I'm saying. I don't really think it's a man or woman thing. I think it's a human thing. You know what I'm saying? But like sexually immature. Now that I'm older and I look back at a lot of stuff, there's a lot of women I probably never should have dealt with, and I wouldn't have.
The craziest thing that happened to me when I was in between marriages was a guy standing outside my job all the time. All the time. And it's like,
Hold on 1 second. The CEO is in the building. What up, man?
Hey, nah.
Hey, what's up?
What up, Tay?
We just talking smack in the middle of the night.
You can do a 9-minute live. I'm looking like that was only 9 minutes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what's up?
Can
How
I
y'all
subscribe to
doing?
you if I'm not already? Can you put your channel either in the chat
Oh
or
yeah,
the
definitely.
Yeah, I will be
I
sure to
ain't posted no
subscribe to
video.
Yeah, she do mukbangs, but you know what? She got like in her video when she be doing her mukbangs, she dropped a lot of good information. She got a Black History series, she got a numerology series, and she just got good conversation doing her mukbang. So you ain't just go watch her eat. And then I know she said
I
she
think I'm subscribed.
eat fish, but yeah, she cooked vegan meals like some of her old videos. She cooked vegan meals, but they look like regular meat, like fish and chicken. Like it looked regular. So I mean, it's just a little cleaner way to eat. So yeah, she got great content over there, and she on all social media platforms. Y'all make sure to go link up with Sis. When she come back, y'all will be excited.
Yeah, I like the sound of the vegan thing. I'm not a vegan, but I like, consider.
Options.
I like thinking about doing it.
Yeah, they have options. You ain't got to be vegan to eat vegan.
That's true. That's facts. They got this stuff called natto where they make bacon with it. It's like natto bacon or something, and it looked really strange, but I'm intrigued.
Man, I remember when I was vegan, I ate some of that Morningstar bacon. That shit like Play-Doh. It look like you came right out the Play-Doh maker. My bad, though. What up, sis? Man, we ain't seen you in a minute, man.
I know. It's been a long time, man. I miss y'all. But yeah, I had to come up here because I was like,
It's hard to
I
hear
gotta,
your microphone.
Hold on, let me turn her.
Okay.
y'all can't hear me?
Hold on, let me turn you up. I for some reason I gotta turn everybody up when they come up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because your shit was
my
on.
bad.
No, I got you. There we go.
Yeah, I ain't been on here in a minute, and I've been in your lives a little bit. Sometimes I don't say nothing or whatever because I'll be sleepy. Like I gotta go to work in like a few hours or whatever. So, but I want to come on here and just holler at you. It's been a long time, long time.
Long time, man. I see your video. I'm looking like, oh shit, shit's glowing like a motherfucker.
That's what everybody was saying. Yeah, I was coming from the store and I did a live. I didn't stay on that long. But I'm gonna try to get back to doing some videos, but right now, yeah, I haven't done a video in I don't know, like what, 4 or 5 months. if not longer than that.
Let me ask you this, please. If you had one grocery store that you had to shop for the rest of your life, what would it be? You only
Um,
regulated to that one grocery store for the rest of your life.
I would say here in Texas we have a store called HEB. I would just say HEB.
A as in apple, G as in Greg, and B as in Barry.
H as in Henry,
Okay.
E as in Echo, and B as in
HEB. Okay. Thank you.
mhm,
Okay.
yeah. I would say HEB. Why you asking me that?
No, because people that's really into making sure that people are informed about food. I was wondering if they go to different stores or do they have one store that they faithful to?
I go to different stores because I like to shop for
Yeah,
different items, because this store might have something, another store might have something. One store might have the fresher produce, then another store, yeah. So I go to different stores all the time. I hate it, but
I feel that. I wish it was one place that I could rely upon for everything, but I do get around. Um, I have different favorites. Um, so I got a grocery store body count. You know,
a grocery store body
that's a
count.
joke. Get it? I got a grocery store body count. Anyway,
What's
Please
up
it's a
with
don't
this
get
pleasure.
body
started no
count?
more.
It's a pleasure to meet you online. It's a pleasure.
You too. What's up with this body count?
That's the
Yeah,
title. That's why I put it
Yeah.
back in there. Yeah.
me and my wife was watching. She was showing me these things on TikTok, and she asked me, "What did I think about?" This one black dude. He was like, "Men don't ask about body count," and I'm like, I understand what he's saying, but I don't agree with it because. And then I start talking about the experience, and she scrolled down a couple more, and the exact same thing I said. It was this female psychologist saying the same thing. Why women shouldn't experience multiple men because most men want to create the experiences with the women. And she said if women have an experience from one man and it's grand and it can't be reciprocated, she will always be chasing that. Just like a drug addict chasing that first high. And she was like, that's why a lot of women are unsatisfied in relationships. It's because they had an experience with somebody else that wasn't, their husband, and now they married and they can't get that experience from their husband, and they still desire that experience, and it cause problems and issues in relationships. And I was like, that's what I was saying, because I know a lot of women, like, basically, I mean, my ex-wife told me I fucked it up for everybody after me. My ex-wife told me.
Interesting. So a woman shouldn't have multiple partners.
The more partners you have, the more likely you will come to a point where uh, you won't be satisfied. You won't be satisfied.
Hmm. Okay.
So like for me, I don't have, but and like I was saying earlier, what Mello was saying, where I was saying pride, that can fuck with a dude's pride too. Like imagine a dude get married, right, and he can't satisfy his woman. That fuck up his pride.
But then
Like
imagine a
me.
dude fucking messing around with a girl who never had experience sexually. That would mess him
Mm-hmm.
up too. So it's like, dang if you do, dang if you don't. Because at the same time, a man, what he want a lady in the streets and a freak in the street, a freak in the sheets. How can she be a freak if she ain't never experienced or even had any partners before?
But think about it like this too, though. More man would desire that because now I can teach you. That goes back to the ego thing. Now I can teach you. Your greatest experience is gonna be with me. What do most men say? Oh, this mine, ain't it? I'm the best you ever had. I'm the biggest. Men always say shit like that. That's because of their pride, their ego. They want to be the best. So even with a woman that's inexperienced, now I'm talking about relationship wise. I'm not talking about just, run and gun. Like then you wanna, if it ain't, will be your main, yeah, you wouldn't care. You don't really care. You know what I'm saying about the body count or the experience. But if it's your main, like it's the woman you go wife, I'd rather have somebody non-experienced and I teach her versus having somebody too experienced and I can't teach her shit.
You can teach, but sometimes if it ain't in you, it just ain't in you.
And that's what, and that's the thing too. And but see, look, now think about this. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm
You
saying
can
too.
teach
Kay.
all day.
So
If it ain't in
now,
you, it ain't in your
now,
blood.
but see, not from right there. Now we know some men just don't got it. But if a woman never experienced a man who do has it, she don't know no difference. You see what I'm saying?
And that's what they want.
And,
They want a woman
and,
that don't know
and
no
I'm
better.
just being real. I'm just
They
being
want a
real. I'm not
woman that
saying it's
don't know
right.
no better.
But then
Yeah, I'm not
flip
saying
side,
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying like when a man that make him feel better about what he doing because guess what? She don't know he ain't good. She don't know
And that's what it's about, isn't it? Making
yeah.
sure that that man feels better, isn't it?
It's about that. That's what
Isn't
it
that
becomes. That's
what
why I
it's
said it
all
becomes the
about?
ego. Like with me personally, I wouldn't care.
Feeding a
Like
man's ego. Isn't that what it that's what America is designed to program guys to believe, that it's all about feeding your ego. You've been programmed to believe that.
yeah, it's but see, I wouldn't have that issue. But I know that some dudes do. You know, some dudes I can tell by the way they walk and talk. I can tell. Like, no, you ain't got
On
that
the other
in
hand, I do not advocate for women being promiscuous due to the semen aspect, right? Because biologically speaking, semen suppresses the immune system in a woman.
you.
So the more she experiences semen inside of her, the less potent her immune system becomes. And so that becomes a danger, for her. So in that regard, I do not advocate for women to be promiscuous. Like in the interest of your health, it's not a good idea to be out there just doing your thing. You have to preserve your health. Men, they ejaculate, women, they receive. And the sperm that a woman receives is biologically uh, an immune suppressant. Y'all can look it up. It's an immune suppressant. Like, for instance, if a woman had went to a club on Saturday, slept with the guy because she was in the mood, and then next Saturday she slept with another guy, her immune system is still trying to recover from the
But
semen she received from last Saturday. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's not a
I
good idea for women to be promiscuous.
so do you like when the baby is born, the placenta sac is a membrane that's around the
Oh, I don't
embryo
know. I
to
don't know about
protect
all
it.
that.
No, I'm about to clarify what you're
Oh,
saying because, and this is what
and it could
this
be the
is
same man.
it's a functionality of the semen is to produce a barrier around the embryo
It's a
to
germ.
prevent the
Let's keep it real.
the
Sperm
white
is
blood
it
cell.
rhymes with germ for a reason.
No, but listen to what I'm
Sperms
saying.
are
But
germs.
but listen to what I'm saying. Like the white blood cells when a woman becomes impregnated, the white blood cells in the body will go to try to kill the foreign body. But it's the sperm that creates the embryo. I mean, the sac around the embryo that protects the embryo from the white blood cells from attacking. That's why sometimes some women have to get an injection because the sperm didn't create the barrier. And if she don't get the injection, her body will delete the baby. So some women has to get injection, but that's a functionality of the sperm. So that's because you have semen and you have sperm. So part of the functionality of the sperm is part of the nucleotides in the sperm. What you're saying is to protect the embryo. So when a man ejaculates in there, you're getting that in your body. So that's when you say suppressing your immune system. A suppression of immune system is the suppression of white blood cells taking effect. That's what
Did
happens
you
when your
know
immune
that
system
when a
is.
woman gets a pap smear, that it's advisable that she doesn't have sexual intercourse for a period of time, like about 10 days, I think. And, depending on who she's married to, he can't wait that long. And it's advisable that, her husband uses a condom. And then he all mad and shit. You know, that's a real thing. Like, because a pap smear, that the way it has to be performed, it causes an injury inside because they got to scrape, to get samples, right? So that scrape is an injury. So it is advisable, clinically advisable by fact, that a woman ought not have anything penetrate her that that's against her biology, like sperm, semen, right? But so to tell her husband, I just had a pap smear, we can't have sex without a condom for 10 days. Do you think that's going to go over well with her husband?
I mean, no.
Probably not.
Y'all
Probably
fuck
not.
around with some babies.
See, men don't even know this kind of stuff.
Well,
You
most
know,
men don't.
a lot of men don't. Yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
But that's a
Let's stay
clinical
in
fact.
let's stay in the
But
medical field.
yeah, a pap smear.
My wife loved that shit. Like that was in the medical field.
Yeah,
So she
pap
can talk about
smear.
all her women
The
shit. And I'd be like, yeah,
nature.
no.
Yeah, the nature of a pap smear is it induces an injury. Like they got to scrape the wall of the vagina to get a sample to find out whether or not she's straight. So that's an injury, and it needs time to heal. And they recommend at least 10 days to abstain from raw sexual intercourse. But when you're married, your husband ain't trying to hear that shit, you know. And keep
Yeah.
in mind that there's a there's a fluid exchange going on that that that's not ready to be received because the vagina needs to heal from that pap smear. A lot of men don't know that. They don't. They really don't.
And why
There's
the
no
doctors or
love
the
for a
nurses
woman.
don't tell you that either?
I had to look it up. I had to look it up because
In conversation. So
because
rather, yeah.
no, because like when you have a pap smear and there's some bleeding, unexplained bleeding, you know, you're like, why the fuck? What's up with that? And so you look it up and you find out, oh, they
Yeah, they just
they
scrape your shit.
scraped. They scraped so
Yeah,
that
they be
created
using,
an
hey
injury.
man, they be using, look, you know what's fucked up? They be using real spoons, like tableware spoons and shit.
No, they're
Yeah,
doing it. They're doing it
I've,
appropriately. It's just that it
yeah,
needs time
I've
to
said a
heal.
pep smear.
Like
Yeah,
like
I've
like
said it a motherfucker. Like, oh shit.
you
Right.
can't put a
So,
band-aid in the inside of your vagina, man. Like
no, I
like
said they be using spoons, like your silverware spoons to scoop you.
oh, you talking about to open it up to go in there?
Mm. Once they open it up with a clamp, but they use a spoon. They use a spoon, a real spoon.
They doing something.
Yeah,
I've
they
never
do that
like
shit.
asked them to put a mirror up and let me see, but
I used to. I worked as an anesthesia assistant. I
Yeah, I
studied a
never
couple of them.
like.
Some of the shit they use, man, that shit kind of fucked me up. They had joint paper in the OR. I'm like, what y'all using joint paper for? They use it to put over wounds
All I
that
ever
they
saw was the
because they
Q-tip. So it. I had some questions. I
no. So
said I
what they
thought
got to
this was a
do
Q-tip.
is
I thought
they
this. I thought
scrape.
they just swabbed, but
No, they
apparently
scrape
there's
and then
other.
swab.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah, they
scrape
scrape and then
tool that
swab.
they use. Apparently,
Yeah, they scrape and then swab.
yeah,
I'm not saying all doctors use spoons, but some of the motherfuckers use spoons. I remember, I'm like, what
not
y'all use
regular
this for? They was
kitchen
like, come here, let me
utensils.
show you.
Everybody,
Yes,
you
they,
know what he mean.
I swear to God, they do. Like in the
Not
OR, I
kitchen
promise you.
utensils,
Listen, I promise you in the OR. When I
butter
worked in the
knives.
OR, cause they send all the equipment down to get sterilized. And when it come back up, it'd be on the lift. And I pulled the lift up because I had some equipment I sent down. I'm like, man, y'all got spoons and shit. What y'all use this for? And the gynecologist lady said we use it for pep smear. He said,
You
come
know
here, let me
what?
show you.
Do you
And
have
when
the
we went in the
ability to
room,
bring up a picture of pap smear tools?
mhm,
Do you have the
give me one
ability
second.
to like?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Yeah, because I'm trying.
Yeah, I got the
All I
ability
ever
to
saw
bring the
was the
lady who told me
Q-tips.
that shit up here. I
I
just talked
saw
to her
this.
3 days ago.
You put your
Mhm.
legs in the stirrups, you lay back, you look over, you see some Q-tips, but next thing you know, apparently there's some scraping going on. So, because I'm not a clinician, so I'm
Well,
trying to
they
figure this
have to
shit.
get a tissue sample.
That's what I'm saying. I thought
They
it
got to
was
get
a.
a tissue
I
sample.
thought it was a
No, so they got to
swab.
scrape you.
I thought it was a swab. All this time, I thought it was a swab.
No, they use the swab to get the sample, but they got to scrape you
They
first
got
to
to
get the
scrape it
tissue
first.
sample. Yeah, because the tissue is not open to get an actual sample of the tissue, and they don't
Hmm.
cut you open, so they just scrape it. And once it's scraping,
All I
then is
know
the
is that
flesh
I'm
is.
grateful
That's like
for
if
my
a
results every time. That I'm good to go. I'm clean. I'm good. I'm grateful for that. But as far as the unexplained tenderness, I I I had to look that up. I was like, why? What is that about? So just, but she's right. T is right. Like, I'm sorry, Tay. Tay is right. Like, these people don't explain it to these women. It's like they want them to experience another clinical infraction or some shit. Like, why aren't you explaining this to people? Like, you shouldn't be having raw sex for about 10 days at least after this, right? You know that, right? I don't think they even inform women after giving birth how long they should wait until they have sex again. Like, there was a time it was, it was told, I guess, to women like you got to wait 6 weeks before you have
They
sex
did
again.
inform me though. I did get informed about
I
that.
hear they not telling women that no more.
Oh wow.
Maybe I'm tripping, but they let them go as quick as they came in.
Yeah.
yeah, I can, Commander. I couldn't be a male gynecologist. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it, man. That shit will fuck everything up, man. You gotta fuck with old people and all that shit. I'm straight.
What about a proctologist? Now that would be worse.
Hell no, man. I be thinking that shit weird when it look,
That
man,
would
when
be
men go to
worse.
be proctologists, I think that shit weird, bro. Like as a man, what make you want to go look at people's butts, bro? Like, come on now, man. I don't know, bro. That shit weird. Like you looking at
Yeah,
all
I'm
butts,
not.
bro.
I'm not
I'm
into.
straight.
I'm into the information, not the action.
Bend over and cough.
I want to be
Like, hell
informed. I
no.
don't want to do it.
Like, would be like bend over and cough. Like you got me fucked up, bro. Oh man.
What was that
Yeah,
movie, The Hangover? remember the remember that movie? They
Oh,
showed that
funny.
old white man's butt.
man. Oh
That was
shit, bro.
crazy.
Man, that shit, bro. I'm straight. Yeah.
And then the guy was just staring, the guy that had the baby, that they couldn't explain where it came from. He's just looking like he was obsessed or some shit. Like, you know, oh my God. A proctologist. That's something that please don't ask me to consider as a career. Um, that's not cool.
Yeah,
There
smell
was a
ass all
time I
day.
wanted to be a dermatologist until I found out how gross it can get. You know,
Yeah.
I was out. See, apparently, I got being an
But
esthetician confused with being a dermatologist. With a dermatologist, you see all kinds of crazy shit. But an esthetician, you're more likely to work in a salon and, give skincare advice, you know, that type of thing. But then I found out with the esthetician, because I have one, they give waxes. And it's like, I don't think I could give a woman a wax. Like, I don't think, like, I'll receive one, but like to give one, like, no, I ain't doing that. No.
you know what's crazy? When I
But I do
worked in
like
the
skincare. So
when, when I worked in the OR, you see all these residents come up, right? And they practicing to be surgeons. So you see them go through their first year rotation, and then you see them the next year they be gone. Like, oh, why what you calling them ain't back? They couldn't hack it. So a lot of times these doctors that go into the certain fields is because they finished medical school, but they couldn't hack being a surgeon, so they had to
it's
become a
too
secretary.
queasy. It makes me too
Yeah,
queasy.
I
Like the
seen people fuck
idea
pass
is
out.
awesome, but the actual practice would make me queasy. I couldn't like no. Like I'm a war veteran, but there's some things that actually make me queasy. You know, that's tripped out.
Yeah, man, I said a lot of crazy shit. That's why I didn't want to get the shunt put in my head. I didn't sit through I think 45 different shunt cases. They drilling holes in your head, pulling your scalp back, cracking your cranium, pulling the piece out, put the shunt in. Like they literally take a piece of your skull out
It
just so
takes
they
a
can place the
special
tube.
kind of psychopath to be able to deal with that.
It's not, but you know
All
what?
that
It's not.
blood and
I don't
shit.
know. Like for me, it was never. I remember we had this guy who got shot in his aorta, right? And he got shot in the heart valve, in one of the valves of his heart. So what they had to do, because it's an emergency, so they called the cardiologist in because they wanted to crack the chest, to separate the rib cage, pull it apart. But they couldn't get him in, so they did a procedure called a seashell, where they cut two ribs off. And the reason they only do that in emergencies because it's not uh a lot of people don't live after they do it because they literally got to cut your rib off. They try to place it back and graft it, but a lot of times it don't take, and
I would
people end up
faint.
dying from infection.
I'm telling
So
you right now,
anyway,
I would faint.
w- we had so when they did the seashell, they got to manually pump the heart. So you got to massage the heart. You got to squeeze it, right? And it was like at 12 o'clock at night. Everybody's about to go home. Midnight shift coming in. So it was only two residents there with the surgeon, with the trauma surgeon, and everybody gowned up. They cracked the chest. He told the resident to grab the heart and squeeze it while he clamped off the aorta and they removed the bullet. Man, when he let the heart go and she went to grab it, she passed out. I had to run out, scrub up, and gown up and pump the heart. Like I had to squeeze the heart.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there like she was on the floor. Like they didn't even get her up because it was a trauma. Like this dude is gonna die. Like and we already short staffed. We ain't got a lot of people. So they he laid on the floor for about like 7, 8 minutes before she like got up and woke up and shit. But when she got up, he said, "Yeah, just go take your scrubs off. This ain't for you. Like this ain't for you. You gotta go. Like don't come back.
Damn.
Like told her, like this ain't for you." But you see that? I mean, you see people come and go in the OR because it's true. Like people go to school. Is one thing. That's what I tell people. Is the difference between going to school and learning some shit and actually experiencing it. Totally
You got
different
that
world.
right.
You can learn all the shit you want in the book, but until you do that shit in real life, you'll never know how to perform. Some people just ain't built for
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah.
You're right. It do take a special type of psycho because, like, it took me. I had to emotionally detach because you see people die almost every day, and if you're an
Yeah, people
emotional
that can
person, then
detach themselves and stay focused at the
yeah,
task. And it
yeah, you
takes a
got to do that.
special type of constitution. It takes, how can I put this? It takes a special type of mind. It's a distinct mindset that allows you to separate the gore that you just experienced and then go home and eat dinner. Like,
Hey,
you,
go home and eat dinner.
you see it as a job. So you go home
Let
and you straight, you know.
me tell you something, man. You ever see somebody intestines blow up? Like his shit fly everywhere? Man, they was looking at me because we had this patient. He used to eat her hair. I forgot the name of it, but it's like a disease where people eat their hair. And so she had an obstruction in her bowel, in her intestine. And so they cut her open. And when they cut her open, I think he nicked it because it was so inflamed. So when they opened her stomach, the obstruction, you see the big ass mass come out and it just fucking exploded. And her
Like
fucking
how
bowel
cats
exploded.
have fur balls.
Yeah, yeah, that shit exploded. And it was like shit all over the room. So I mean, the patient, we got her over because they don't like people dying on the OR table, but she was septic after that, and she was real fucked up. And so they got her over to the ICU. I think she lived like 2 days, but after they got her over there, I was like, man, I'm about to go eat, and I just so happened to have some black bean chili. I was vegan at the time. And they was like, bro, after all that shit we just been through, you gonna eat some shit like that? I'm like, man, I'm hungry. I've been saving up for 3 hours. What the hell are you talking about?
Chili of all things, chili.
That's what I brought to
It
work.
couldn't have been
I had some black
turkey
bean chili.
sandwich. It had to be chili. Wow.
I have a good one, Raven. Man, I mean, but that shit is like every day, bro. Like, and then I worked in the city of Detroit. I worked at a level 1 trauma hospital. So you see crazy shit all the time. People coming. I remember this guy came in and he was in a car accident. You know how the bridges go over the freeway? You know, like when you go under it, you know how it get like short under the bridge, like the further you go up, like when you right under the bridge. I don't know how the car got stuck in that little gap and it caught on fire and they was trying to pull this guy out. The whole time I thought this guy was black. He was burnt so bad I thought he was black until they took his shoe off. That was the only white part of his body was like his foot. This guy was like, and I don't know if you ever smelled burning flesh. That's like one of the worst smells, and that shit takes so. If you got nose hairs, that shit gonna take a minute to get out your nose. I think that shit was in my nose hair for like two
Okay,
days.
this is when my comic relief comes in because I can't take the description. So that was your burnt body count.
Well, yeah, I done seen probably about 12 people come in roasted and toasted. That
That
should
was
be
your
fucked up.
burnt body count. Like how many?
Yeah, man.
Cause body count. We might as well talk about all the body counts. You've seen like more than a handful, more than two handfuls of dead bodies or damn near
I done,
dying bodies.
I done seen. I can't even tell you how many people I've seen come in. Uh, I've seen some fucked up shit like kids come in shot.
Yeah,
I
that's a
remember it was
different aspect of body count, you know.
it was the 16-year-old, and I like you. It's a 16-year-old kid come in, right, and he got shot in the throat, and he made it all the way up to the OR, but it was like it's like so fucked up because it's like you can't do like it's nothing you can do for him as long as it's filled with blood. He's struggling to breathe. They trying to suction the blood out of his lungs, and I'm like, it is so fucked up. And then you find out like his boys brought him in. They pulled up to the ER and threw him outside of a pickup truck and pulled off. And then his mom and stepdad
What
came up
side of
there.
the throat? Was it the front, the
No,
side,
he got hit right in the fucking, right in the,
and the
like
front?
it almost looked like he had a trachea. It almost looked
Mhm.
like a fucking trachea. I'm looking
Yeah,
like,
he was gone.
and you
Yeah.
could tell, and you could see it was it had to be a small caliber because it didn't go through and through. but you can see like the skin. It was a close range shot because the skin
Wow.
was charred around it. So somebody had it was like it had to be like a 38 or a 22, or it could have been a 25 or a 38, but they put it right on his throat, and because you can see the skin around his neck was charred, and that's only due, so
Wow.
anyway, when we got him, we thinking like, okay, we trying to clean his body up, so we let the parents or the family come see the body in the OR. We got a little room for that and everything, and so we call him down to see if anybody down there, and the mom and the stepdad came in there, wasn't even asking how he was doing, right? They were saying, "Where's the money at that was in his pocket?" This 16-year-old had $12,000 in his pocket. He had $12,000. He had uh I forgot how much dope he had in his pocket, and he had a pistol. Like that's what they found on his body in the ER when they. That's how they threw him outside the. I'm looking like, God damn, bro. Like I done drove somebody to the hospital twice from being shot. I ain't never dumped nobody. I always stayed with them. I ain't never did that though. You just stayed there and
They didn't want to get caught.
yeah, but that
Yeah.
shit fucked up. I couldn't do that. I remember I pulled up. Well, we was at a park and we got cool with some people and they came back and shot and my boy got shot in the hip and he was bleed. I mean, when you get shot, I mean you just blood everywhere, so you don't know if somebody gonna make it or not. You just know a person shot. So I drove him up to the hospital and we got there and I literally picked him up and took him in there. And everybody was like, "No, just leave him here. Go, go, go." I'm like, "No," and I'm the driver. It's my car. So I'm like, "No, man, I'm staying here with him." I mean, this my boy. I done grew up with him and everything. He was all right too. But it's like they ran. It was like three other dudes with me. They ran. Like they ran from the hospital. I mean, they impounded my car because it's part of the crime scene. I went through some shit with that. But I mean, at the same time, it was like I couldn't I couldn't just leave him. Have a good one, Tay. I appreciate you, sis. I didn't even know you dropped off. I appreciate you, sis.
Good night.
Yeah, wow, bro. Yeah, that's like when Plastic African was talking about how, crazy it is, over in Africa. I'm like, shit, we call this shit the concrete jungle over here. This shit ain't no better than these streets, man. You see some fucked up shit.
You think that crime is gonna decrease with
No,
the National
oh,
Guard initiatives?
no, man. Crime is a part of life, man. Crime ain't gonna never
They
decrease,
gonna
but
find a way, right?
everybody always gonna find a way. That's just what it is. I
Crime
mean, crime.
finds a way. Yeah.
No, man. Crime pays. Long as it's paying and you can make money, man. That shit ain't going nowhere. I mean, with the National Guard, man. I mean, people don't remember the '80s and shit. They just sent National Guards into cities and shit.
Mhm.
Probably most people ain't seen it in their lifetime, but shit, I was around. I wasn't in Detroit in the '80s,
Do
but
you
my people.
think universal prosperity would would curb the outbreak of crime in communities?
Crime is
Because
necessary. I think it's all necessary.
no,
Just
like
been,
like say people are prosperous, right? Like they ain't got no reason to take nothing from nobody. Do you think that would
I
be the
think,
solution?
I think that'd be unnatural.
Say what?
I think that'd be unnatural. There's never
So
been a
so
time in human life that there's
so
no
there are
crime, like
people
no.
that are just itching to do wrong no
It's
matter what
just
their circumstances.
it's just natural.
Damn.
It's. I think evil is necessary. How would you know good if there was never evil? I think I believe all this negative stuff that happened in life, it builds us, man. It builds us. Adversity builds us, bro. It makes us great. It makes us strive for better, to be better. When we have all these fucked up situations. I mean, I think it's necessary.
So
I don't
there's no
like it,
such thing
but
as utopia.
nah, that's a myth, man. It ain't never been like that. Look at the animal kingdom, man. It
I'm
ain't
not
never been
talking
like that.
as higher thinking beings. I'm referring to, the executive, the frontal
So I
cortex.
say. I say it like this: if evil was not necessary, God would have never made it. If it wasn't necessary, God is the author. God said, "I made good and evil."
Hmm.
God made it like this, man. It's
I had
necessary.
I had one of the brothers tell me that the devil works for God. Like the devil is an independent contractor for God. That blew me back. I was like, I never
I
thought
mean,
about it like that.
read the story of Job. What devil? I mean, God told Job.
That
Told the
Job,
devil to go
that was
kill
the
Job.
example given. Job.
So I mean, think about this: if God knew everything, right? Why would He make the devil in the first place if He knew He would go fuck up everything? If the
Hmm.
devil is the essence of evil, why would God even make the devil? Because
Hmm.
it was necessary. That's why it was necessary.
So did God create humanity for his own soap opera entertainment? And I don't want to designate God as a he. That's the English language speaking. But this omnipotent entity that people refer to as God, uh
Hold on,
commonly.
you have to
Commonly.
say that one more time. You real quiet. Is that
Say
just
what?
me, y'all?
What?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you going in and out. That might have just been me though.
Nah, that's probably me. I'm kind of sleepy and I might be
Can
talking
you say
soft.
something now?
Anyway, it was just when I get
Huh?
tired, I start coming up with all these philosophical crazy questions. Don't worry about it. I'm sleepy. Don't worry about it. I was just I was gonna piggyback on what you were saying about Job and some contemplations that I'm coming up with because I'm sleepy. That's all. So for those who may or may not be aware, in the book of Job of the Bible, Job is minding his own business, being prosperous. Meanwhile, in heavenly spaces, the devil shows up in the court of heaven. You know, all the angels are around, and here comes Satan walking in there, like, yeah, what's up? And God is like, where you been? It's like, just roaming around, observing this creation that you prioritizing over us. I think you making a mistake prioritizing them over us. They're not going to be faithful to you. And God said, have you considered my servant Job? And the devil said, Job? Job got it going on. He got property. He got all kinds of wealth. Of course he's going to praise you. I tell you what, if you take everything away from Job, he's going to curse your name. And God was like, bet, test him out. But you can't take his life. And trust and believe, the devil went ham. He destroyed everything that distinguished Job from anyone in his village. Job was the top man in this village. The devil took away everything. He made sure the house was destroyed, the kids died, anything, the damn crops, the animals, everything was gone. And Job was like, oh shit. Okay, well, we'll figure something out. But then the devil's like, I'm gonna throw one more on it. I'm gonna make you sick. And so Job started breaking out in all these boils and otherwise known clinically as inflammation. He's aching and pain. And meanwhile, his wife is standing by witnessing all this stuff. And his wife said, "Why don't you curse God and die?" His friends are making fun of him like, "Yeah, you used to be on top. Look at you now." And, his wife is going crazy with grief. And she said something blasphemous, like, "Why don't you curse God and die?" And Job turned and looked at her like, "You talk like a foolish woman." You know? And there's some other specifics, scriptures that indicate that Job is still on God's side. But he was going through it. He was going through it. And then he started to hear the voice of God. And he asked God, "Why did you let this happen to me?" And God chastised Job to the zenith of chastisement. Like, were you there when I created the sun? Were you there when I created this planet? Don't you question how I use you? Accept it. And Job admitted in his spirit, God giveth and God taketh away. God bless the name of the Lord. So after that test, eventually everything that Job had before was restored tenfold. And that's pretty much the story of Job. And so when this brother approached me saying that the devil works for God, the devil is an independent contractor for God, and he used the book of Job as an example to demonstrate that point, it was really, really deep and interesting.
Well, in the Bible, the devil and Satan ain't the same place. I ain't the same person. So even and that was Satan, I mean adversary. There's somebody going against. So that's why, people be like, "Oh, I thought the devil was on this," from Genesis they say,
Our
God
gens,
cursed the serpent. So the
our
devil and
gens,
Satan is different people.
yeah. And in the religion of Islam, they mention something about jinns. Are jinns
And
and Satan the same?
well, jinn are like demonic demons, but they're
Okay,
what is
beings,
I forgot the
plural,
name of
plural.
the
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So jinn are demons or demonic, but
So it's like
uh
jinns are the
it's different.
disciples. Jinns are the
No, because
disciples of Satan.
I wouldn't even because they're all jinn aren't bad. Jinn are just like I don't want to say demons, but the way they talk about jinn is like similar. If you try to synchronize it to Christianity, it'd be on the level of demons. But jinn would be like the fallen spirits. Like they're not Allah, they're not Allah. So but they are spirits. But some of them are demonic, some of them ain't. But they have a like if you look at man, what is the name of that doctrine? Isn't the Sufi doctrine isn't a metaphysical aspect of Islam, but each jinn have a different nature, and that nature is within us, within people. And when we resonate with that nature, that's when the jinn is attracted to it. That's like the teachings, but it's like a spiritual
Mhm.
entity. But they
Okay.
usually cause they normally cause harm, to us.
So okay. I think I get it. Or maybe I have to listen to the rebroadcast or something. But okay, I think I get what you're saying. I think I hear like that jinns are not necessarily good or bad.
Or bad. No.
They like okay, that movie Fallen, right?
Hmm.
Where it's a it's a spirit that embodies a human being upon being touched by another. Does it work like that?
Yeah. So like if you look through different religion systems, they just explain things differently. Like
Yeah,
some are more
yeah. I don't know.
detailed.
I
Like
was.
Christianity, they have angels and demons and devils and gods. You know, if you look at the Greek, you know, they got the demigods, they got like Chronos and them, and then they got the gods. So it's different ways people explain the same thing, just from their own perspective. So jinn are equivalent to like spiritual beings, and they can be
Okay,
good or bad.
and they're unseen.
They unseen, yeah.
Yeah, that's the point I was getting to. Are they
Hmm.
unseen? Can they inhabit people?
Now,
You know.
see, even when we talk about like possession, is
Yeah. Can they do that?
yeah, yeah, guns can
That
enter the human body. Yeah.
well, that's messed up.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, man, like, is for me, I'm just being honest. Like after studying all that shit, that's just an excuse for people to do fucked up shit and blame it on something
I
else.
think so
Like
too.
that, I think all this is just different aspects of humans. You know, like
The
humans are
whole.
fucking evil. Like somebody was asking a question like, why would Jesus sit around and watch little kids get hurt? And I'm like, why the fuck is
Mm,
you sitting around and watch little kids get hurt? What?
mm,
Why is you waiting for God to come down from the sky and save them when you right there? Don't God work through people? You maybe you just not open to God, so He ain't working through you to save this little kid. Maybe that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I be
mhm,
looking at it. Like
mhm.
it's just a supernatural way to explain some fucked up shit that human beings do. That's all it is.
Excuses for being bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Cause shit, you don't see no fucking demons grabbing people and slinging them across the sky. You see people doing that shit.
that's
You see human
correct.
beings doing all the unalive and shit, going to fucking schools, shooting at little. There ain't no demon. That's a human being who's on some
Exactly.
demon time shit. That shit
Exactly.
is in that person. That shit is that's a part, an aspect of that person. We all
Do
got
you?
angels and demons within us. Is what we express. You
Yeah.
do some shit to me, I'm gonna turn demonic on you. You know what I'm saying? You fuck with mine, I'm
Retaliation.
gonna.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I turn demonic if somebody fuck with mine.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's retaliation.
Hmm. Vengeance, wrath, all that shit.
Hmm. Yeah.
All that shit is within us, and is how we express that shit. Just
Yeah.
like God, God is it in you too.
I grew
You
up
see
as
people do godly
Baptist.
shit.
I grew up as Baptist. I was introduced to the Quran, but I never really got a chance to commit to it, in terms of study and so forth. But I'm familiar with some aspects of Hinduism, Buddhism.
Hinduism
Like
is the shit. Buddhism is my shit. I love Buddhism,
I'm
but
familiar with
Hinduism
different
is crazy as
different
hell. That shit.
religions. Right. But during but I nonetheless my formative years consisted of my grandmother taking me to a Baptist church, and
Hmm.
that's my chief influence, despite knowing other religions, and being able to critique the Bible at every turn. I have the ability to critique it, but I refuse to do it because, uh, dare I say, that's my heart, that's my affinity. Like that's what I was. It would be like a lot of things that bring a pleasant calm to me are from my formative years as a child, and I'm just not gonna say nothing bad about it. I'm just not. I
You know
could,
what?
but I'm not.
I I mean, it got a lot of good. All those books, honestly, all those doctrines have good information in it, and it got some shit that you probably ain't gonna never use. That's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't about to be out here stoning nobody or putting no fucking A on them or doing none of this crazy shit. But
Ain't it crazy?
yeah, they was doing some crazy. But that shit was written for the people of that time, man. I mean, so I mean, trying to update it and bring some of those lessons into modern times, that's why people struggle with it. But they don't take the essence out of it.
That's the problem. It's like people don't practice the shit. They don't understand. First of all, you gotta understand how to read the Bible. You know, some people take it literally. Some people take the whole thing allegorically. I mean, you
Yeah.
just got to know how to read it, man. I was listening. Man, what was they saying earlier? I was listening to somebody. I'm like, bro, they was talking about when Jesus said, if a man before a man harms a child, he should put what is it, a rope around his neck and a stone on it and throw himself in the river. And the dude was like, so this is what Jesus is saying should happen when a man touches a child. And I'm like, bro, you can't comprehend fucking shit. It says before a man does this, he should do this. Meaning, before you think about hurting the kid, take yourself out. That's what Jesus was saying. Before a man falls into that desire of touching a kid, eliminate yourself from the situation. That's what that was saying. It wasn't saying when people touch kids, put stones on a rock and put it around their neck and throw them in the river. That
Before,
ain't what it's saying.
yeah, if
It's
you
saying
start
before
having those
you,
ideations, you need to
yeah,
just
before you
check
give into
out.
that desire of touching
Yeah.
a kid, take yourself out the fucking situation. Eliminate yourself from that situation. Not even unaliving yourself. It don't mean unalive yourself. It means take yourself far away from it until you. I mean, and if you go do it before you do it, just do that, man. Take yourself away from the situation, bro. And you can apply that to a lot of different things. If you know you have some sick, fucked up desires in life, man, take yourself out the situation. Take
Like a
yourself from around those things
kleptomaniac,
that
right?
triggering you.
So what do you do with
Yeah,
a kleptomaniac?
yeah,
You
you gonna
know,
need some type of therapy, bro. That shit wild, bro. Yeah, you gonna need some type of therapy, man. I love fire. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I got a bomb. I got
okay,
a
you're a
fire pit in the
pyromaniac
back.
then.
I got a fire pit in the back. Shit. I'm thinking about lighting a fire right now. I was lit. I'm live on my phone. Now. I ain't even on my computer. I'm about to go in the garage. I'm like, shit. I'm thinking about starting a fire, but it's 2 o'clock in the morning. If it was like 12, I'd do it, but it's too late. I'm about to get off here in a minute anyway. But I'm like, I love fire, but when you want to put shit on fire, like houses and shit, nah, bro, you need some therapy, bro. That's more than liking fire. I love fire, bro. I ain't trying to put shit
There
on
was
fire. I ain't trying to get burnt neither.
I when I first joined the military, um, you know, we are to revere officers, right? As enlisted members, we are to revere officers. So here
Hmm.
it is. We all shop at the same little, basic exchange store. And they have, all types of stuff, including cosmetics for women. Do you know that this high ranking officer, a woman, she got busted for shoplifting some lipstick?
Yeah, it's the thrill,
Lipstick.
man. It's the thrill.
And it wasn't like, she could play it
So,
off as an accident, like, oh, I forgot I slipped that in my pocket. No, we watched you on camera intentionally try to get away with stealing. So, she tried to claim that she was a kleptomaniac and she needs therapy and all. It was like, yeah, yeah, whatever. But, we still gonna bust your rank down, so
hmm
that shit, I never forgot that. I was like, damn, so these people, the military got us believing that people that are higher ranking than us, they got some, upstanding moral code, but they just fucked up
They
human
just
beings like anybody else,
hmm
you know?
Sometimes when people get that status, it has a sense of protection, so they be even more fucked up sometimes, you know. It's this
No
doctor
doubt.
I used to,
No doubt.
it's this doctor I used to work with, and man, look, this shit, he's a big womanizer, right? And come to find out, like one of the girls he was fucking around with busted on him. Like this dude in his 40s, late 40s, and he lived with like his mom lived with him, but like his mom treats him like a fucking kid. So even at this age, even with his status and shit, so he'd come to work and project all that shit his mom put onto other people and shit. That's why he wanted to dominate all these women and shit because it was fucked up, but it reminded him of his mom. So like this girl was like, man, I don't even want to put nobody, but she was like, he was having rough, intercourse with her, and he kept saying shit like, "I bet you won't tell me to do it now, mom," like crazy shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, man, just because people got these statuses, man, they'd be just as fucked up mentally, emotionally. These are people, no matter what status they obtain in life, no matter
People are
what.
people.
They just fucking people, man, at the end of the day, man. You think I knew a lawyer, my cousin had a lawyer, and it fucked me up because I was like 21, 22. He had got busted for some, he had some rock on it. He got busted for it. And his lawyer, he called me like the lawyer bringing him home and shit. I'm like, cool. So I pull up, like, what you need, cuz? And he was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to do 2 years. He telling me all the stuff that went down. And he told the girl to go in the back and brought out a 8 ball and gave it to the lawyer as payment. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, hold on, bro.
That
You
is
just, you
hilarious.
just paid the lawyer with an
That's
8 ball?
hilarious.
Like, whoa, bro, this is some crazy shit.
The
Like,
irony.
like, hold on, bro. Like, damn, lawyer crackhead. Like, man, that shit fucked me up. But that shit woke me up too to reality. Like,
Mm,
people are just people, man.
mm.
It don't matter what education they got, what experience. People are people. They bound to the same things, rich or poor. You bound to the same things, man. Life, you know. But let me get my butt off here, man.
All right. It was good chopping it up.
I appreciate you, sis. I appreciate you.
Okay. Take care, everybody. And thank you again.
I appreciate you coming up having this conversation because I be looking for people to have express their opinions and we bounce ideas off each other. So it was a
It's
great
important.
conversation. Yeah, man. And
It's
and
important.
I appreciate you too because a lot of these topics
And
I don't
same to
try to
you.
emotionally trigger people, but it can. Like this, I know the subject can, so I just appreciate you, following the decorum and just being you. You know what I'm saying? Just being you. Man. I appreciate that. When we had a conversation and we ain't get into no arguments or nothing. I don't argue with nobody, but it's just refreshing when I have an adult on the panel and we can have conversations. So. I appreciate that. And that's what, I want this channel to be.
When
So
I
the more
feel
examples,
welcomed, I behave myself. When I feel unwelcome, I start tripping.
yeah,
And a
and
lot
that's
of people get me wrong. They think that, I'm some kind of wild card or whatever. But that's not the case. It's about whether or not I perceived that I'm welcomed. If I'm
right.
welcomed, then I accommodate the environment. If I'm unwelcomed, for some reason, I go into a different mode. And having believing I'm welcomed here is why I'm interested in a good conversation as opposed to looking for a gotcha moment. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, when I
Yeah,
appear
yeah,
somewhere on a panel, they want to play gotcha with me. And I'm not here for that. I'm looking for good conversation. I can honestly say consistently, I've received good conversations with you, or at least listened and observed good conversations on your live streams. And you are contributing positively to people's thought process by introducing personal stories that they can, pick up and carry something with. And that's valuable. So I'm grateful that you allow me here, truly.
man,
And with
I
that,
appreciate
good
it.
night.
'Cause,
God bless your family. I
mhm.
don't want to get corny. So take good care, okay?
You too. I appreciate that, man. Because that's
All
what we
right.
doing over here. I don't be trying to. Yeah, yeah. So, shout out to Mello, man. Shout out to Tay. Big Tatum came up here, the CEO. Stop playing with me. Yeah, we missed you too, Tay. We miss you too. So. Great conversation tonight, people. I appreciate that, man. That's what we about. We about having these good conversations, man. Where and like what Melo was saying, she feel welcome. I want everybody to feel welcome, man. I try my best not to put nobody in a defensive posture when having these conversations. And if I am aware enough to understand that people are triggered. And when I see a person get triggered, I try to, step back. It might not be popular for content, but it's necessary for conversations. Because once somebody get in a defensive posture, then they go defend themselves. So, I don't blame people, when they feel disrespected, they get disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people will give you the same energy you get up. you know. So I do my best uh, to create the environment where people can come on and express their experiences, their opinions, and I don't try to suppress anyone's personal experience. So my view or my perspective might be different from yours, and I'm open to hear it. So yeah, we're gonna have more conversation, and I'm still working on that new channel. If y'all down with fantasy football, we doing that Saturday. I might have to push the time back. I forgot my wife works Saturday, so I might push it back to like 9. um, but yeah, we're gonna do the fantasy draft Saturday. I'm gonna put it on the wall tonight. I said that a week ago, but I'm gonna do it tonight for sure. So y'all can sign up and play fantasy football with it. It's for fun. Ain't no bragging rights or nothing like that. We just doing it to have fun. So boys or girls are more than welcome. You don't have to be a boy to play fantasy football. Missing Ma, what up though? I can't even see the chat on here. But yeah, let me get off here. I don't know, my computer, my earbud bugged out on me and I lost connection and couldn't sign back on my computer, so I had to get on my phone. And I hate being live on my phone. I really do because I can't see no comment. And I don't know what y'all talking about, Commander Officer. All right, man. Let me get off here, man. Y'all know what I always say. Care about how you feel. These are conversations to build nations. And if I say anything that resonated with you, do me a favor, hit that share button, tell somebody, help me spread the word. But until next time, we out.
And do it for the 9.